Lights on, heat up, take away nothing, bring up. Paper chase money, we run off everything.
Yo, what's going on? It's the NOC, the Nerds of Color. We are back again with a NOC exclusive. It's your man Kuya, and I've got a special guest with me, my man Jason Chu.
What
up, Jason Chu?
What's up, everyone? Yo, it's great to be with you, man. Thank you so much. You know, we got some music. We got some music for the people. You feel me?
Yes. For the uninitiated, this brother is a talented LA poet, activist, writer. Man, you should know all about him, but if you don't, we're going to get into it. But he's got this amazing track called AYCE. It's called All You Can Eat, bro. You know what? I don't need to talk about it. Let them know, man. Let them know. It's fire, y'all. Fire.
Lights on, heat up, take away nothing, bring up. Paper chase money, we run off everything, eat up.
When my DJ at the table call the priest, yeah. When it's not a famine, then we call it feast, yeah. Die, walk, or crawl, even from the beach. Cantonese sits all on the menu, even not the seats. Crocodiles don't feed like a Lacoste fit. Working on my fitness with no CrossFit. Bad shoes, ostrich, fake news, gossip. Would you do the right thing without it trending as a topic? Beef and broccoli Tims, Space Jam Dunk Son. I'm watching The Last Dance. Don't pause revolution while executing the movement. Still tap dance over culture vultures making jazz hands. Flashback, I was 23 wearing the black red scratch that they turning Chicago into Baghdad. Tax money that they used to fund all of the fascists. No surprise we take it to the streets. Fuck a hashtag. Backpack, got a gas mask in a board. Fast track on the front lines where you are. Smash that. Then they use their image as an asset. Protest pics turn ads for a cash grab. Fuck that. They driving Benzes while these aunties use a bus pass. They gentrifying Chinatown where all the thugs at. They busting kids away to districts where the funded public schools don't even got a lunch plan. Multiple choice, but no right ones. Backpack in the trunk when the time comes. He said POC better buy guns. Funny how the NRA only defend the white ones. K-pop idol with the mask on. KTV when the track run. Respect to China, Mac Gingy, Ruby, Bar in that market coming. You know Alan Z and Bohan.
Lights on, heat up, take away nothing, prenup. Paper chase money, we run off of everything you can eat up. Lights on, heat up, take away nothing, prenup. Paper chase money, we run off of everything you can eat up.
Yeah, man. Thank you so much for having me. It's beautiful to be back here. And yeah, so we just dropped this new record, AYCE, All You Can Eat. You know, it's fun. It's kind of a jazzy, funky kind of hip hop track. Definitely got some bars in there. But the key thing that I'm here to highlight is you know, Chinatowns and everywhere. You know, Filipino towns, Little Saigons, Little Tokyo. Everywhere has been suffering. My friends, they own this restaurant called Hop Woo. It's a pillar of the community in Chinatown. They've been around since '93. Family owned, immigrant owned, small business. So we actually shot a really fun visual there, and we dropped that this week with the single release. And that's really what I'm here to share, is to let people know, you know, not just about my career, not just about my music, but let people draw attention to the ways that, you know, we can really be feeding the community. These establishments that literally feed us night after night. You know what I'm saying? Like, a lot of them are struggling. And we, as people with platforms, as people with artistic voices and creative voices, it's time for us to sort of put the spotlight on, you know, what they're going through and ways that we can support them.
Amazing thing you are doing. I got the GoFundMe campaign links on the screen. We'll also put it in the comments below. Make sure you click on that. Support Hop Woo. And just get the merch whenever you in LA. I know when I hit up LA, I'm gonna holler at Jason, be like, yo, we gonna get some food, right? Let's get this, man.
We got
you know
to.
What I'm saying? Support.
We got to.
Just beautiful stuff, man. And make sure you just go do that. But before me and Jason really get into this full-blown interview, I want to throw some clips at you. Just listen to this music and just vibe, yo. Because I'm in the mood, and I'm gonna throw this mood right now.
Checking myself out
in this black mirror. Look at my outfit, isn't it a killer? They say if a pine tree was to go timber and nobody was around, the forest wouldn't remember. I was back in New York, it was back in December. The photo of 30 Rock looked like a greeting from Santa. Cupcakes at Magnolia always look like a winner, but I would prefer the dumplings that they serve near the Chambers Street station.
No safe port in the storm, shouts to the northwest. Feds wanna play James Bond, who gonna go next? Writing, recording, releasing all of these songs. Album drops same day in front of the court protest. Tired of all the BS. Saw a story about a Cantonese grandma got beat up out in the BX. Too many pigs, too many rats, too many pests, so we ain't gotta play Animal Crossing on the DS.
I said, you'll be too late to stink. Clean your dirty mouth with some toothpaste. Oh, another challenger. Your glasses say you wanna see my manager. Oh, are you mad at mine? Just a month ago you had fun watching Parasite, blowing steam, Fahrenheit, Big Beard, Mennonite, Big Team, Yao Ming, Level Up, Dragonite. If I see you at the Target Market Park, better not talk shit on my grandma. Macho, ooh, 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 yeah. Look at the tag on the shoe, yeah. Yeezy, the boost made in China, the finest apparel to boot. Y'all chop it, fall short. You cannot copy the fashion, your captions is way under par. Rated, subtitled, the greatest law. I'm in Doja, the woman, sure them boys, hey. Caught in the trap, that's a whole nother level. When they calling your name, that's a whole other devil. When it's God got your back, that's a different kind of ammo. I've been working over hours, y'all must have never got the memo. Y'all better never change the channel. This sweater better than the metal. Been putting in my time. Y'all go and checking on my tempo. I phone take panoramic photos so y'all can visualize the campus. Put this squat up on my back. I'm wearing orthopedic sandals.
Yo, Jason Chu, what's good, bro?
What up, homie? Thank you for having me, man. Shout outs to Nerds of Color. Shout outs to, everyone on the staff, on the roster. Y'all really hold it down for the community. Shouts to the nerd culture. It's beautiful to be with y'all.
Definitely, man. And I saw you're a card carrying nerd in a couple of the tracks that I saw on YouTube. I think it was like My Hero Academia that I saw in the background.
That's right. That's I got some.
I'm not a big anime head like that.
You can see it right now. I got some. I got some Naruto fan art from my boy anime painter Ash. This cool young black cat in North Carolina who does customs on Instagram.
Nope.
I got a record called Marvels actually that I spoke with Keith and with Nelson on like a few years ago. Yeah, I've been definitely paying a close attention. Bao-Fi is a good friend too. So
I heard you are part of the clan, but I didn't get the luxury of meeting you yet. So I'm honored to meet virtually, and hopefully when this whole COVID craziness is down, I love to have throw some soju back or something.
Hey, we got to.
Word. So yo, my man, I want to know all of this, man, because again, I feel like a little kid. You know what I'm saying? When like I first heard that Biggie album, I'm like discovering. You know what I'm saying? Like
shoot.
It just how like you get when you find something that you really can connect with, bro. And meeting you, bro, and virtually and listening to you, I'm man, you got everything going on with you. But let's start from the come up. Where are you from, man? I read a couple things online, but I want to get a story from you. Let the NOC know about you, man.
Yeah, man. So I was born in Chicago. I grew up in Delaware and Connecticut. Yeah. Spent a couple years in Beijing, and then moved out to LA really what it was LA was where I knew I had a voice as a young Asian American. I knew that, I wanted to be a part of a community. You know what I'm saying? I feel like a lot of us out there feel like the Highlander. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you in Delaware, if you in Connecticut, sometimes you're going to be the only one, sometimes, unfortunately, the way that things shake out, you find yourself as the only Asian in a certain community and pigeonholed into that side, pigeonholed into that role. So I moved out to LA with some friends because I heard that, things were popping here for Asian America, that this was kind of the center of the culture. So I moved out here, started, I'd been making music, I've been doing my thing a little bit here and there, but I really came out here to make a run at it. And it's been a few years, and I've been able to run with it and tour with it and record with it. And that brings us to 2020 where things are crazy, but we still just doing what we do. We making music for people. The way I see it this year, especially, music is a soundtrack for our day to day.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because everybody's just sitting, just waiting for the world, you know, to heal. And while we're on that journey, that's what I hope that my music can be for people is, you know, as they're sitting, waiting, envisioning this future world, we can help them be the pulse of their day to day lives.
Love it. Love it. I'm gonna take a quick pause, real quick, man.
Mm-hmm.
There's a sound going on from this other thing. I want to turn
For sure. Get it. Mm-hmm.
Sorry about that, bro.
Man, I just love this back wall you got. It just looks like every comic book store, every good comic book store I've been in. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, brother. Yeah, I used to write and publish comic books, man. That's kind of like how me and Keith linked up.
Got you.
With what they was doing, and then and then found out I was an actor, a producer around here too, and you know how we Asians we connect. You know, it's family thing. You know what I'm saying?
For real.
All right. So let me. What was the first track coming up? Like, you know, so you came out to LA. But like, I want to get really early when you was in Delaware. What was like the first song or track you heard? First MC that like that made you fall in love with hip hop?
Word. So for real, what it was, I had my boy Yusef Chase. He was born actually in I think like Brooklyn. Grew up in Baltimore, and then we went to high school together. And Yusef would burn me CDs. You know what I'm saying? He was on like IRC super early. You know, he was super hacker dude back in the day. And so Yusef burned me Deltron 3030 by Delta Funky Homo Sapien. He burned me Labor Days by A$AP Rock, and he burned me The Blueprint 2 by Jay-Z. And so those three records really kind of were what sucked me in. You know what I'm saying? Like just hearing these cats use words. You know, I was always nice with English. I always got good grades in English, but hearing people use language not to someone else's rules, but use language to their own words, you know, to the rhythm and the phrasing of their own internal rhythm was amazing. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Like they made you come to them. You know what I'm saying? That's what I want to say. Like instead of being like, oh, here's a perfectly written essay and all the grammar and all the spelling and all the whatever is correct. They, you know, it's like the first time. And then I look back later, you know, and you look at like you introduced me, you know, like Black poets, you know, sort of urban poets.
Yeah.
Forever have been doing that, consciously not using language in the way that is very oppressive or that's very top down, but using it to draw people into the way that language is actually used in the streets, in the community, from people of Caucasian heritage. So that was what really drew me into hip hop at first.
So would you say were you a poet first or an MC first?
I'd say I was definitely wanted to be a rapper, you know, definitely wanted to be an MC, definitely wanted to be a hip hop artist, but I always lean towards the poetic, you know, dudes like Lupe Fiasco or a dude like Nas or a dude, you know, like all the Wu-Tang guys, Raekwon. That was always the kind of hip hop that I leaned more towards. And then I think that a lot of my journey has been developing my ear and my musicianship and learning to, you know, to not just get my bars off, but to like really make something that somebody can put on in the background and not even listen to, but feel it, you know?
Okay. So how was it like getting into hip hop for you before you moved out to LA? Were you recording tracks? Were you like getting beats, instrumentals or whatever? How were you doing that? When so like you felt the vibe, you got the soul, and you wanted to do a little something with it. Because I know for myself, I got into spoken word. Poetry was my thing. Because I did do a little dabbling with the MCing, but because I wanted to get the girls, man. You know, I wanted to throw a few words at them. But so for you, how did you kind of switch off from that?
Yeah, for me, a lot of what I was doing was just, you know, you download the MP3. I remember, man. So you remember, of course, Got Rice, right? That classic for that genre, right? So my junior year talent show in high school, I remember we downloaded the Changes instrumental, right? And then my boys, Alan, and Howie and I
Shout out to
did.
Alan and Howie.
Yeah, man, those are my guys from days. And so the first time I ever performed on stage was, just downloaded commercial beat and then performed on stage, and people loved it because at the time nobody knew me as like an artist. Everybody just knew me as, oh, he's good at school and all that. And that was the first time that I felt like I was getting some. I was able to make an impact, not just because of what I was saying, but just like the whole energy and the vibe of it, and that was very intoxicating.
So that was like the first big performance, and you kind of like it really helped, made you fall in love with it a little bit more.
It was the first time that I went from writing bars to MCing. Okay. You know what I'm saying? That was the first time that just when like all my classmates who really didn't expect that from me. When the music came on, I came out and I was going in, and they were all just like going nuts. And I was like, man, like if I could give people that feeling over and over again, that would be a great way to spend my life. I
feel you. So with arts as with Asian parents, what I'm saying, sometimes the arts is in a field. I know my mom wanted me to be a lawyer and a doctor, especially a doctor. I'm Filipino. I do that. What did your parents, with the arts? How did they feel about that, and you falling in love with music?
Yeah, so I was, I would say I'm very fortunate because my parents have been very supportive. Nice. They're pretty religious. They're very Christian. So I think they understand from jump. They've understood the idea of, hey, we're gonna support the community. Yeah. We're gonna do something, not just to stack chips, not just to like take care of ourselves. We're fortunate. Like my dad works hard. Like everybody's doing okay. But they've always taught me. They've always raised me to have this idea of like, hey, we don't exist just to stack chips for ourselves. So I think when they saw the way I do music, right, which like I said, I very much am trying to invest in the Asian American community. I'm very much trying to be a part of sort of these other things going on. When they understood that that's all a piece of how I'm getting down with my art, I think that they caught the vision, right? They don't understand what the work of an artist is necessarily. They don't know what my day-to-day is,
Yeah.
But they do understand why I do it. And I think that makes a lot of difference.
That's beautiful. And that's awesome. So moving out to LA, so you take the big jump, you head out that way. What was that like? Let's talk about grinding, because it's LA's a beast, man. It's eating a lot of talented cat out there. Mm-hmm. And so was this after Beijing, or Beijing was before that?
This was right after Beijing. So Beijing was actually, okay. I would say.
Well, actually, let's move back to Beijing then, because I was reading some amazing write-up that was on what was this? That was I'm gonna post some additional articles, man. But I was reading some great stuff. But you was in the Beijing underground when I was reading about that. Talk about that Beijing experience, because I'm sure that was a whole nother area and country and vibe. You know what I'm saying? Hip hop is different everywhere. How was that, man?
Yeah, so I'll say, man, like, I was present in that country at such an interesting time, right? It's like right after the Olympics, very much modernizing. Hip hop is starting to pop off. So obviously last couple years, rap of China has become like a really big influence in Chinese music and pop culture. But at the time, it was a very underground scene. And so there was space, like there was all these, there's expats, there was local kids, black folks, Chinese folks, white folks, all up in the mix. And I got to be a part of all that. And I'll say, if I wasn't in Beijing at that time, I probably wouldn't be doing music professionally now, just because at the time, that was where I got a lot of my first experiences on stage after, so I did little performances through, like I said, high school and then through college and all that. Yeah. But then I was working in Beijing and doing this music thing on the side. And just, like a couple times a month, there would be like a party or there'd be a show or whatever. And I get on stage and that same experience, right, of in high school, I would be in front of all these Chinese kids, just young Beijing Chinese kids who are into hip hop. They didn't know English. My Chinese is not good. But through the vibe of hip hop, they were really able to catch the energy of what I was putting out there. Yeah. And they just showed so much love. and I was like, man, this music really can touch people. You know, I was building friendships just based off of the music I was doing and the feeling I was giving them. So that was what, yeah. So that was my experiences in Beijing, and there's some incredible friends that I made there. We're still good friends. Just a year ago, my crew NITEMRKT, which is this group that we got out here, we toured with a bunch of MCs from Shanghai that I knew from that time. So you know, it's just really incredibly exciting to see that whole scene and vibe go from what it was then, which, you know, it could have easily just been a fad, but now it's really become this cultural movement in China.
Amazing. Yeah, I can just imagine. That's beautiful. So you're back in the States, you in LA doing your thing, man. Let's talk. You brought up NITEMRKT, your trap crew, right? Let's talk about how that all came together, man.
Yeah, so NITEMRKT, so that's a group of just you know, group of friends that we started making, because so my music, like you're talking about, is usually a little more poetic, usually a little more, you know, sort of like lyrically intensive. I touch on the jazz hop, I touch on the chill boom bap, you know, all that kind of aspects. But then we just wanted something that was fun. You know, we wanted something that was fun that people could just enjoy. You know, I've done a lot of work personally on the Asian American college circuit, which has been really rewarding. And we just, you know, we kind of do our thing as a solo artist, me and my team. But then NITEMRKT came about because I had a couple friends who are also into hip hop, and we were like, hey, we'd love to make some music that we could just perform at festivals, you know, stuff where people who don't necessarily, you know where the conversation is at about Asian American issues, about social issues, stuff where they can just get introduced to us and our vibe and our culture without, you know, going mind first. You know, they could go body first, just throw themselves into it. So we made this fun record. It did pretty well online, and then we just kept putting out singles, and we're able ultimately to do a cross country tour last fall. And then, we got an EP on the way once things kind of calm down.
I'm looking forward to that. That's dope. Let's talk about that college experience too, because I'm kind of mad at my peoples for not like hollering at me about you early on, because I would have been, man. I feel late to the game on you, bro. Like you had this bad. Let's talk about some of the amazing tracks that you put out, man. There's the Matt Damon track, hilarious, because you know. You know how, like, you know, they say Scarlett, you know, Matt Damon, there's a list of what, you know, they changing this up, you know what I'm saying? The whitewashing that they're doing. Let's talk about the Matt Damon track, you know?
Yeah, so my friend Prisca, she's for real, right? So my friend Prisca, she's a singer-songwriter. My boy Leo, he's part of my crew, and he's a singer too. We just had this idea. Literally, we're just sitting around in Little Tokyo one night, and we were like, yo, we should do a record. You know, this very, very tongue-in-cheek kind of record that says, you know, save us, Matt Damon. Like, you know, like we're so helpless, you know, like the Asians. Exactly. We always, you know, in the West, whenever they make a film, they always, you know, they never put our people at the forefront, right? They never give us agency. They're always like, hey, you know, here's a movie set in China, and this is, you know, the soldier that came. It's, you know, you look at Tom Cruise, The Last Samurai. You look at, Scarlett Johansson, Ghost in the Shell. You look at Great Wall, Matt Damon. You know, like it's just this trope. You even look at, you know, like Avatar, right? Like you got this race of completely fictional aliens, and of course it's a white dude, you know, a straight white dude who comes to save them. So we made this sort of parody track called "Save Us, Matt Damon," because, you know, I think that's what I really believe in, just using art and humor, and, you know, to point out things that need to change. While also just being good to listen to.
Definitely. And then you gave us an anthem using that soundbite from the amazing Sandra Oh. And I'm sporting the shirt. Shout out to the East West players. It's an honor just to be an Asian. Talk about that track, man.
Yeah, so this was on so I got this project that came out this summer. It's called Living Room. It's you know, music. It's a soundtrack for people who are stuck at home. And the funny thing is that record actually came out, or that record was ready to go a year ago, way before COVID. but we shelved it because we're like, hey, it's very gentle, it's very soft, it's very quiet. Right now, 2019. Remember, the energy was very, very turned up. People were really trying to get out there and go up. Yeah. And so we held on to it, and then quarantine hit, and we're like, yo, it's time to this. It feels right now. It feels like the right time to put this into the world. Yeah. And the lead single from that record is called Honor. Based on the quote from Sandra Oh, it's an honor just to be Asian, and putting that into the world in a way where, I feel like for me, those were some of the most poetic bars I've ever written, and one thing that's very important for me is also to make sure that when we talk about Asian American, we talk about the full breadth, right? So that's why I say from gold skin to cinnamon, green cards and citizens, A-list university scholarships and immigrants, because we got to remember, right? A lot of people talk about like, oh, yellow. They use yellow as shorthand for Asian American, but 46% of Asian America is brown. When we're talking about Pinoys, we're talking about Desi, Punjabi, South Asian, Sri Lankan. When you talk about all of those communities, right? So just creating this sort of poetic piece, to me, it felt very, most deaf, like those kind of vibes of just paying homage to our community while also showcasing the breadth of it. Not everybody comes in the same way.
Definitely. I've been also, again, reading stuff that I saw online about you, man. There's been some struggles as well. So let's talk about some of the most difficult bars you had to write. And I think I don't know if I read it right, if you were married at one time and there was like a one track that like I could feel it. I could feel the vibe in that. Do you want to talk about that or get into or most difficult part? So I don't want to make it difficult for you because that kind of stuff can be a very delicate situation. But you put your life in these rhymes. I know as a writer, as creators, it's how we want to speak to the world, and that's what I want you to do right now. I just want you to be able to be your outlet to speak to the world, man.
I appreciate that, man. Yeah, no, exactly. Like it's all, and I feel like there's things that even I don't necessarily put into the social media, but I do put it into the music because it feels like, social media always feels like a little bit of a projection, right? Oh, here's an image, here's a visual, here's whatever. But the music to me is where it really gets honest and raw. And so the relationship that I was in, and then, the way that went, it finds its way into the music. And I think, I was very happy with where the music went because, I think in the process of writing that music, in the process of, because to me, if the pen isn't honest, then there's no reason for me to pick up the pen. You know what I'm saying? Like if the record isn't going to be coming from the heart, if the record isn't going to be giving people something, there's no reason. Like what am I doing it for? I'm doing it. Drake just dropped a record, man. Go listen to Drake. You know what I'm saying? Like if you want fun music, there's a million pieces of fun music you can get. Exactly. But if there's something about my journey that can actually help people heal, then that's beautiful. And then that means that I've got to learn to heal. And so for me, a lot of it was as I was writing, coming to a place of acceptance and healing and gratefulness. Even I'll say that's on the records you're talking about. In GBTD, God Bless This Day, which is sort of this kind of prayer almost of saying thank you for the experiences we've had, even if they weren't always pleasant, even if they were painful. We grew, and thank you for that.
Definitely, and I gotta thank you for that as a listener, as a fan. And, before even meeting you online or whatever, and just connecting you through the music, like, it's like all of a sudden, like, I feel like I just discovered my new favorite rapper, honestly. And not just because you right here and we doing this right now. It's like that it connects you because we've all experienced this depressing year that we've had. And I've had, other things that drove my creativity. I'm a suicide survivor. I almost committed suicide when I was in the military at one time. And that drove me into where I'm at now and doing the things I'm doing. And so I take strength in that now, especially when I'm talking to kids like you do as well, because, we've all gone through it, but you can survive it. And this is what you can become. So thank you for what you're doing and providing that inspiration, man. And let's talk on, like, you've been doing that with the spoken word in the hip hop, but also you go on the campaign. You were on the campaign trail with Bernie, and I saw you also went to the Obama House. Can we talk about some of the politics that you're doing and that intermixing and all that?
Yeah, man. I mean, it's funny because I do think that there's often, we don't want to get partisan. You know what I'm saying? We don't want to be just riding for a team because that's our team.
Yeah.
I never understood that. But to me, it comes down to policies. You know what I'm saying? It comes down to policies. I genuinely feel, look, a lot, politics is what it is. Like, people are gonna, it's a dirty game, right? Any game is dirty, man. Any industry is dirty. I'm in the music industry. I see the grime, you know what I'm saying, in entertainment, in comics, and wherever you're at. But I do genuinely believe that certain politicians have policies that they're pushing, that they're advancing, that will assist our communities and especially assist the people who are hurting the most. You know what I'm saying? When I look at, like, the idea of, like, a universal basic income, I think that could work wonders for people of color.
Shout out to Andrew Yang.
Shout out to Andrew Yang campaign.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, and like, shout outs to the Working People's Party. Shout outs to a lot of these people. Shout outs to my girl Yulene Yo out in New York City. Shouts to like just a lot of incredible. My boy David Young Ho Kim, who's running for office in Los Angeles. There's a lot of incredible, inspiring people who are pushing forward conversations. So that's not just politics as usual, right? So when we got the call from the Bernie campaign that they were saying, hey, we need some local music openers. I was up in the Bay Area. My producer, my good friend Joe Kai, he was producing my record Arrivals. So we were in the studio. He got the call. And it was like, of course, let's take a day out. Let's go. Let's ride for Bernie. Like, I felt like Bernie was someone who really, really wanted to care about, the least. You know what I'm saying? The most disenfranchised, the people with the least. Yeah. And same thing, when Obama was in the White House, I was very proud to be there. I was gathered as part of this group of Asian American community and faith leaders that came through. Was able to be there present with his staff. Shared some poetry, shared some words, and you just got the sense that this was an administration that I get it. I get it. Look, Obama did the drone strikes. Look, I get it. Obama, gave ICE certain jurisdictions. I get that. But I also, you know what I'm saying? I think that there's a spectrum, right? And we can't just reduce everything to saying, oh, look, he's done bad things, so he's exactly the same thing as her. Exactly. And you look at even, like, we're talking about, like, the debate this last week, and to me it's no contest. I will vote for the person who's not actively supporting white nationalism. I'll be so thrilled to vote for somebody who doesn't talk about black people the way Trump talks about black people. You know what I'm saying? Talk about Asian, like we don't even register to this man, and register to Biden. So to me, politics is so interwoven into hip hop, into art, because culture. We're talking to the people. We're talking to the people. We're building the culture, and if we pretend like the ways we're talking to the people aren't political, then we just are living in a fantasy land, because this shit is definitely going to affect all of us. Exactly. And it's especially going to affect our audiences and our people that we care for.
All right, Jason. So making a difference, that's beautiful. Let's keep on talking about making a difference. You dropped an amazing track called AYCE, All You Can Eat. Shout out to Hopwood. We talked a little bit about Hopwood at the beginning. And again, I'm going to throw the links on the screen. Make sure you go to the GoFundMe, support them, pick up the merch, show love, because, Trump talking a lot of bullshit. And so, we can't let them take out our establishments. And so we need to just show that love and show support. Talk about some of your favorite lines, some bars that kind of inspired that when you put that all together.
Yeah, man. I just, they driving Benzes while these aunties use a bus pass. They gentrifying Chinatown where all the ducks at. They busing kids away to districts where the funded public schools don't even got a lunch plan. So, I kept kind of that all you can eat theme, just this vibe. I'm talking about kids can't eat in schools while, metaphorically, right? Like, I was literally thinking about the Chinatown streets, right? And you see people all the time, whipping nice cars, whipping Benzes, but then the aunties, the uncles, whose labor, whose sweat literally built the foundations. They using bus passes, to get to and from their minimum wage jobs, and so to me, America, if you really want to get lyrical with it, metaphorically, America is like this all you can eat buffet. But at a certain point, you got to ask, like, all right, who's eating and who's in the kitchen? You know what I'm saying? And those people in the kitchen, they're probably not the ones that are getting to go to the buffet and eat for free, or just graze nonstop. So yeah, that's kind of what the whole record is just about. But again, it's got a light touch, it's fun, it's upbeat, it's kind of jazzy and kind of funky.
You gave me those vibes. I was like, yes.
Thank you.
Yeah.
It
Slum
feels very
Village
tribe,
type ish. Ooh.
very Anderson .Paak. I know I've heard people tell me it reminds them of Anderson .Paak. So
that's because y'all young cats, man. I'm an old head.
True. But that's all the same lineage, though, right? That's all the same, that jazz hop kind of jazz funk soul. So and the idea again is just give people something. If they just want to put something on and vibe to it, you can totally do that. If you want to listen and you want to go a little deeper and you want to, feel fired up and get motivated, it's also got some things that could certainly make you go, hey, I got to go hard for my people.
So I want to talk on, since we are living in the time of COVID and you created this during the time of COVID. And as a creative, I know for myself, it's been very difficult. Matter of fact, you're like my fifth interview. When by this time last year, you probably be like number 346. You know what I'm saying? Because a brother has been depressed, man. It's been a difficult year. So writing as a creative, like getting that juice and that flow. And I saw checking out some of your socials, man. Your hashtag Team No Sleep or something like that, right?
Yeah, Team Not Lazy.
Not lazy. So like you keeping that creative energy, which I think is beautiful and inspiring for another creative like myself, man. I love it. That juice. It's like you came right on time with me just jumping back into the game, and now I'm like falling in love with it even more. So thank you for that inspiration, and for everybody else that's peeping this, you know what I'm saying? Tell me your method, how you write and create. You out with the pen and a pad, out in out on the block or something? What do you how do you keep it going, man? And what have you been doing during this time to stay creative?
Yeah, fam. I've been going with the flow, kind of. Like it's definitely times when it was just self-care. It was the name of the game. When the number one priority was just, I don't feel like producing right now. I don't feel like creating. I just need to sleep. I just need to lean back.
Yeah.
But then I think, like people such as yourself and myself, we're naturally not even driven. Driven is too strong, too harsh a word. I think we naturally find joy in creating, so when the space was right, when I lived through some things, when I thought through some things, when I've experienced some things, very naturally, I found myself just saying, hey, let me listen through some beats. I got producers on Instagram all the time hitting me like, yo, I got this music. Yo, check this out. And, they all hit me with that. And then, the next thing I knew, I'd sit down, I'd have some music ready to go that I could give to the world. And it very much came as a part of that process, though. It wasn't just like, yo, I'm a rapper, so I need to release. Which is very much what the industry wants you to do. But honestly, you can't do that at the cost of your health. You know what I'm saying? If we're talking about mental health, you and I both touched on in this interview, mental wellness. Like, that's a real thing.
Yes,
and so it's so important for us to safeguard that, because so often, and especially for POC, right? Yeah. So often, production comes at the cost of mental wellness, of physical wellness, of, community stability, right? Am I taking care of the people around me? Am I connected to the people around me? So that's what it's been like for me during this whole COVID-19 situation is letting it flow out, instead of trying to like pulp the fruit. You know what I'm saying?
Definitely. And to also kind of transition from that, it's about a mood, what mood you're in, and all of that. So one of my favorite tracks is Mood. Can we talk a little bit about Mood and that whole album and how that kind of came together? And the visuals on that track, that was kind of cool. It was like the phone joint, and then kind of going in with all of that and coming up with those visuals. Can we also that production element? Do you have ideas in your head, or are you storyboarding that out when you're beyond just the writing? Are you controlling all that? Is that something you like to put your foot into as well? Beyond I'm sure the other talented friends you have.
Yeah. So Mood, my favorite record on the album. If you want, play it under this portion of the interview, because that's my favorite song on the record. And for the visual, we worked with a very talented director, one of my good friends, Ali Shu. She's a really incredible filmmaker. She actually doesn't usually do music videos, but we shot that in the early months of quarantine. That was like April that we shot that, and we were like, hey, let's we're all stuck at home. Let's just make something interesting, based off of our friendship. Me. Let's work on doing something. And so, over the course of a couple of calls, some Zoom calls, some FaceTimes, we worked together this idea of like, hey, this is the vibe right now. We're all stuck at home. We're all seeing our friends through the phone. Let's do something playing off that. So, but not in a depressive way, but in this kind of like dreamy way. Yeah.
Okay. So, with you not being able to perform, as an artist, you sometimes you feed off that stage performance, and that initiates, the further creative juices for writing other stuff. How have you performed anything yet in front of an audience? I think I saw you actually have an upcoming event coming up. Like, how do you feel that return is going to be for you? As an artist, and are you looking for that? How's that?
Yeah, so my team and I, we've been doing a lot of actually online streams, which has been really great. So we've been doing live streams with certain organizations.
Okay.
Now that the college school year is back in session, I reached out to hundreds of college orgs just saying, hey, if you're looking for a performer, if you're looking for someone to come speak, and everything's still crazy right now, we can do this. We can do this online. So, my roommates are also musicians. We got a little band. So we literally stream from right here. We set everything up and we beam it over the air. So I've actually been able to have that release of being a performer, which has been great. And I'm so thankful for that, because those moments are so valuable,
Yeah. So how do you think it'll be, though, when you finally are in front of an audience? Do you think it'll be kind of awkward, or are you ready for that?
Oh man, I'm so ready, man. That's life to me. You know what I'm saying? I've told this to my friends before. Like, there's a way when I'm on stage and I'm performing and I'm sharing this music, I feel alive in a way that I don't feel alive in any other place or time, And so performing is definitely what I live to do. It's what I love to do, and I'm absolutely ready. But I want everybody to be safe. I think the last thing I would want is, because of a thing I do, or because of an event we throw, for somebody to be compromised, or for their loved ones to be compromised. So we're gonna wait it out. We've got this kind of connection right now, exactly. And then when the world, when people calm down a little bit, people stop doing dumb things. We're gonna be able to
wear a mask.
Yeah, for real.
So speaking of the future, has Jason Chu written his best bar yet, or is the best bar to come? The best bars, favorite. What are we looking for in the future? Because I know, reading a lot of your information, again, you want to change the world through music in a way, or at least the vibe, which I feel, man, and I can't thank you enough for giving that energy and kind of putting your life into the music, man. What more does Jason Chu want to say?
Yeah, man. I mean, I feel like, I just got to keep living is what it is. If the music draws from reality, I just got to keep expanding my reality. So I'm learning, I'm having more experiences. I'm growing up with my friends, with my teammates. And I guess, going back to Mos Def, definitely one of my favorite MCs ever. On 1999's Black on Both Sides, he opens it saying, people ask me, Mos, where's hip hop going? Like hip hop is some giant that lives up in the mountains. But, you know, hip hop is the people. So how the people are doing is where hip hop will go. So I'll say the same thing for me. You know, I'm going to learn. I'm going to keep growing. I'm going to keep making mistakes. And all of that is going to funnel into the music I make. So I definitely believe, you know, I've got more life to live. And that life is what's going to fuel, and it's what's going to empower. And it's what's going to inspire what I try to give to y'all.
Definitely. Well, you are my new favorite rap artist.
Thank you.
And then I'm also include you are my new favorite Asian American rap artist, because again, you know, you're a rap artist #1, but then again, sometimes people don't want to include that ethnicity there. But man, you know, that as we're the Nerds of Color, we take pride in that. You know what I'm saying? We are all one.
Very proud.
We also take pride in who we are as ourselves. And so I thank you for giving us that representation and handling business, my man. You are just woo, that AYCE track, that mood, the hate is, I think it was Hate is a Virus. Was one of the tracks, was dope, man. And the anthem Honor, bruh. I can't wait to see what you're gonna do. I can't wait to see what we're gonna do with NITEMRKT. I hope you stay in touch with the Nerds of Color, because you're already part of the squad. I see you already, you know some of the cats in the gang. So let's definitely link up again, man. We'd love to have you on and show support, show love. But again, some of the things we hit upon: go vote, wear a mask, and AYCE, all you can eat. Show love to Hop Woo, man, because they really got hit hard by this crazy xenophobia and the garbage that Trump put out. Let's go show love to them and show support. And then while you're at it as well, hop on Jason Chu Music, I believe.com. Pick up the tracks.
That's
I know
right.
I'm doing that after I'm done with this. I got to get all that tracks because I got to play it in the car. I was listening to some of it already in the car, and that shit sounded nice. So, you know, I gotta light you up in there, man. Let's throw those socials out. And as you said, I'm going to put up on there. And any other last words, my man?
Yeah, man. Just, you know, thank you so much. Thank you for what you do. You know what I'm saying? I love Nerds of Color, man, because growing up, huge comic book nerd, huge D&D nerd, huge, you know, Star Wars nerd, and just knowing that, you know, we got a community for ourselves. You know, not to say that we're not in the other community, but to say that there's a special way it hits for us. And y'all are doing an amazing job doing that. So it's an honor, it's a privilege, it's a pleasure always to be with y'all. And yeah, thanks for letting me be part of the soundtrack, man.
Definitely. Yeah, we'll have to bring you on when we talk about some comic stuff too, man. We're gonna have to have you out here. Do you ever hit up any comic? I think I saw you go to Dragon Con and all that. Do you hit up a lot of conventions and stuff?
I was just a panelist at Dragon Con actually this year. So they obviously they had their thing. But yeah, and you know, my friend used to work for you know, POW Entertainment, RIP Stanley. You know, so yes. Yeah, been through some of these things. Yeah,
you didn't even hit up the Marvels track. I forgot about that. That was one of the amazing things I saw as well. And you had a dancer that was amazing as well. Into dance. Shout out to the cats you had on Marvels and all that. That just means we got to bring you back, bro. We got a lot more to talk about.
I love it.
All right, yo, that's Jason Chu. I'm Kuya P, aka Patrick Strange, Michael Strange. This is the Nerds of Color, man. Make sure you go vibe to AYC. Matter of fact, I'm gonna throw that on right now as we go into the end tracks. Love you, Jason, man. Thank you for coming on. Appreciate you, man. And again, show love to Hop. We out of here. NOC Nerds of Color.
My life's scrolling by, highlights scrolling by. I see myself in your eyes, I feel so alive. You got me tongue-tied, unravel it if you like. You can tell when I lie, from you where do I hide?
Checking myself out in this black mirror. Look at my outfit, isn't it a killer? They say if a pine tree was to go timber and nobody was around, the forest wouldn't remember. I was back in New York, it was back in December. The photo of 30 Rock looked like a greeting from Santa. Cupcakes at Magnolia always look like a winner, but I would prefer the dumplings that they serve near the Chambers Street station. Glasses on, I look at life with my lens craft. Face ID, I got